Dumelang Baratua, and welcome to another episode of Finance Wednesdays, your go-to platform for everything finance related in the province. I'm your host, Madudi Chaba, and today we are going to be discussing a very critical item that I believe most institutions overlooked before we found ourselves in a disruption. And disruption is something that we experienced. Picture this, 2019, none of us ever thought we would find ourselves in a complete lockdown. What happens if a business or government institutions don't prepare properly for the next disruption? So today we'll be discussing business continuity with Kabelo Tong, who is the Deputy Director for Risk Management here at the department. And we're just going to delve into what it means to have proper channels placed to ensure that we thrive even during a disruption. Thank you so much for joining us in that day. I am very good, and thank you so much for having afforded us the opportunity to come and sit and chat with you. Can you briefly explain what business continuity is and why it's so critical for government institutions, particularly in the digital age?
Thank you, ma'am. Business continuity is all about making sure that during disruptions or any disaster that will occur within your organization will be able to go back on time to service its people. And looking into that, we are looking into COVID have taught us something, that there might be disruptions, and during those disruptions, we need to make sure that we are ready to go on. And the other one being, in case of disaster in the building, or we can no longer access the building because of anything, we should be able to have a disaster business recovery plan in place to make sure that our people will be able to work. And the other thing being that we should be actually today looking into digitizing everything, because we are the modern growing province. So we should be looking into automating our processes to make sure that after automating our processes, when we get to that level of the disaster and to the disruptions, our people will be able to work from home. Especially coming next year, we will be having a lot of aerobics in our communities, because always when we approach local municipal election, we should make sure that we are ready for those disruptions. And also in our city, being Kimberley, we know now and then we have water disruptions, so we need to plan for such to say, in case we do not have water. Luckily in our building, we have made sure that at least we have enough reservoir to last us for a week. So we need to come up with all those measures in our organizations and in the province. And IT should also have their IT contingency plan to make sure that if there is a cyber attack or anything that happens with their IT system, they need to tell us. They should be able to come back online within 4 hours and 3 hours as soon as possible, bearing in mind that as a provincial treasury, we are hosting transversal system. So it cannot be that our sister department cannot connect and transact because the servers are with us and the transversal systems are with us as treasury.
So in essence, business continuity is not only about IT, but it's about all the aspects that can occur that may hamper business as usual within the department and within the province. How should government institutions go about identifying the critical business functions that must be prioritized when doing a business continuity plan? And are there any specific tools or frameworks they can use?
Yes, there are specific tools and framework. We have business continuity guidelines offered by Treasury and the DPSA. And in those frameworks, they clearly specify what needs to happen. And also, we have the Institute of Business Continuity, South Africa, where you can get your guidelines. And also, when the business continuity was introduced in government, it was introduced via cooperative CGCIT framework from ICT version 1, when IT guys already knew that they need to perform their disaster recovery plan so that in case something happens, their system will go back or they'll be able to roll back. So that's where the IT into business continuity was introduced from, corporate governance of ICT. So it was introduced from there, but however, as and when we were learning and growing regarding this business continuity, we learned that the IT guys were only looking into their systems, but they were not looking into the people, looking into the other aspects. Hence, when we came to version 2 of CDCIT framework, they said, we are no longer looking into business continuity, but we are going to look into the IT continuity plan, being the one that we all know as a disaster recovery plan from the IT point of view. Now moving this business continuity to risk management, to say risk management, you deal with all the risks that may hamper us to achieve our objectives as a department or as an organization or as a program or directory. So from that point, we are going to incorporate business continuity into this, so that when we sit with business continuity will be sitting there, then we need to do the business impact analysis, where from the business impact analysis, all the key factors will be drawn from that, and we'll come with the measures to say, this is how we'll remedy the situation to ensure that we come back online on time for our people by doing business impact analysis for all the identified issues, being your fire, being your strikes, being your disasters, or being bomb threats, or anything that can hamper our organization.
So in essence, you plan for what happens if A is not happening, then C has to come in and Z also has to kick in essence.
Yeah, you plan for the worst case scenario, yes.
Yes. What are some of the potential risks or consequences when institutions do not adequately plan for disruptions in their daily operations? And could you perhaps share some examples from past incidents or general trends?
The first one will be your financial loss with a reputational damage, because not all reputational damage is the most important as a department, and make sure that our people that we are here for as public servants are serviced. So if we do not plan, we will not be able to service our people. So number one will be your litigations. We might find ourselves being litigated, financial loss, and also our reputational damage, which is the most important part, but not forgetting our people. Because in case there's a bomb threat and we never do our dry runs or walk around, our people, who are the most important officials, might be affected. And if the official is affected, will be found wanting, because one life lost cannot be accepted. Thank you.
Okay, and are there any frameworks, policies, or national standards that guide business continuity planning within government? And how do internal or external audits help improve or verify the effectiveness of these plans?
Yes, there are standards. You have your ISO 22301, which talks about your business continuity, and you also have your British Standard 25992 of 2007 that guides you on how to go about your business continuity, and also your CDCIT framework that talks to your IT contingency plan, which is an annexure towards your business continuity, and also looking at the National Cyber Policy Framework that guides you on how to go about your cyber threats and everything, where you need to do your thorough stress testing and your pin test, and do cyber culture awareness to your people, to say, be aware of what might happen to you. For an example, if someone sends you the email phishing to say, please click on this and give me your credit records, we need to have enough awareness to our officials and our community to say, be aware of this, don't do that. A practical example, we have our CSD system. They cannot receive an email to say, I see into a central database system. Email will look like a central supply database system, but instead of saying NCPT, we just say NCPTL. Then a person will read just NCPT to say, we will need to update your information, and then they put all their critical information, then that information can be sold. So the awareness needs to happen more often, to say, these are happening. In case you receive a link, be aware of the link, whether the link writes the correct email address and all that. And also someone saying, I'm stuck somewhere, please send me the money, like we had previously, where the email was within our NCPG mails to say, this, please help me, I'm stuck here, give me money. We need to make aware, we need to have more awareness of our people to be aware of such. And we should not only focus on the physical security, because now the world is going to digital. The next part is, if you get to each and every building in government, you'll have nice security physical guards there, but we hardly have cyber guards. And that's where we are leaking, and our information will be leaking. And will be found wanting when it comes to that, where our information will go out and the hackers might want to sell it to us, and we need to make sure that when coming to that aspect, we do thorough testing and we outsource where we need to outsource, and also digitize our thing into cloud. Unlike physical security, then we outsource that to more experts to say, help us deal with this. Or we can go by the route of having a shared service in the province where we will have one IT security expert sitting there for all the departments, unlike each and every department trying to have their own IT official who's cyber specialist who come a bit heavy. So having one for the province cutting across will help, as much as Treasury sitting there cutting across regarding the financial issues and OTP regarding their own issues.
That is so lovely. Most of the time there are systems that really do need to be centralized to make it more efficient, even to save money when it comes to the funds of the province. And having one IT security person, or let's say a specific unit for IT security housed at OTP would be something that would be of great help to us as a province. And what practical advice would you give to departments or public institutions looking to improve their implementation of business continuity plans, especially in the context of IT risk?
Thank you. Number one will be your IT steering committee, and also having your continuity team, business continuity team, that will deal with the entire aspect, because your IT steering committee will be dealing mainly on the IT aspects of things, where they will need to deal with their IT contingency plan, which is your annexure, as I said, towards your business continuity. And when you appoint this committee, in most cases, experience have taught me that the appointment will be pitched low to the point of those people not having power to execute. And then it becomes just another talk show. But the tone should be from the top, where the executive needs to take action within the departments and in the province to say, this is where we are moving. Unlike some departments have appointed the low level officials where they are not listened to, where their issues are not addressed. Even the dry runs or testing, if the BCP is working, is not done in the department. But we only have the business continuity plan as a compliance, instead of making sure that it is working in case of disaster.
I understand you perfectly.
And then the other one also referring to your ISO standard and also your commit for the IT guys. Because your ISO 22301 clearly specify what needs to happen with the business interoperability standards.
And how has the rise of digital transformation and cybersecurity threats changed the way government departments should approach business continuity?
Change the approach. It has changed the approach because at the moment, unfortunately, most of our departments in Northern Cape are still paper-based. And we need to come to the level of being a real modern growing province by digitizing all of this, and also somewhere introduce the hybrid working model. We have a serious office space with tight budget. So if you have a serious office space and a tight budget, the way to do it will be digitizing most of your stuff so that you do not need a physical human being to be there to do this manual processing, and then the electronic system will do it for you and you can monitor a person from wherever. A practical example will be, we still have people driving all the way to Springbok, which is about 800 kilometers just to attend a 30 minutes meeting. But we really don't need to do that, because nowadays we have, most government will have your MS Teams, will have your Zoom, will have all the platforms where you can have your visual meetings. Why can't we enhance that to make sure that our satellite offices have reliable connectivity for us to be able to engage with them, unlike driving, so that we save a bit of what we have in the province to make use of it somewhere and benefit our community.
True. When we cut costs in that regard, we will be able to save money, but at the same time be able to offer better services to the community.
Of course.
And lastly, is there any additional insight you would like to share with our viewers, perhaps key takeaways or emerging trends when it comes to business continuity and IT risk management?
Business continuity and IT risk management. There's no much, it's just that in the province we still need to grow, as I already said, to automate our stuff. If we can have our processes being automated and then also make sure that our databases are secured with our network. A practical example being having our own VPN, where you don't have to be in the office, but you can log from home and do your work. That will be nice, and also saving the office space. And the other one, previously there was other organizations that used to say they have an office space in case of a disaster, and only what we learned after that is that during the disaster they did not secure the office space for that particular incident. However, in the province we managed to see that other organizations have boardrooms and all that where we can house the officials. So this needs to be coordinated from the Director General or from the Office of the Premier down to all the department, of which each and every department must have their own BCP that will talk to the provincial one, so that in case I have load shedding here, I can go to another department and work from there. Where it should not be, I need to apply and all that. I must just go there and say, I have a hot seat at Office of the Premier. Let me just go there and work from there, access the network there, because I do not have enough data and come back. So if you can have something like that in each and every department where we have hot seats for our guys. And then the internet connectivity in the province, like where we are sitting, we should be having a Wi-Fi for the people who come to the meetings in our boardrooms to have it, and other departments, in case they do not have office space, they can come and utilize our boardrooms so that we serve our people.
In essence, what we've learned throughout all of the interviews we've had is that what we need to do is ensure that we work together to improve everything that has to be improved within government, within our province, and within our different departments. We need to be working together to ensure that we give the best services to the communities that we serve. Somebody might be sitting and wondering, why are we talking about business continuity? But you've just heard, we house transversal systems. What happens if we are unable to ensure that there are payments that go through and suppliers are able to deliver whatever services that they have been hired to deliver to the community? That's why business continuity is very critical, to ensure that finances always happen. There's no service delivery without finance. So if finance is hampered, then it means services will not be rendered. Ndade, thank you so much for joining us, and we highly appreciate this very informative conversation that we've just had. Baratua, once again, please remember to follow us on our social media platforms and like, share, comment, and always avail yourselves to come and listen to these discussions that we're having. Once again, Kinna Matudi Chava, Danki Hangwe, Danki Habedi, Danki Hararo. Ciao, ciao.